Greetings, friends. I want to share an exciting experience that Rivers and I had as we were making our pilgrimage from North Dakota back to Texas. We stopped in New Mexico in a very small village outside Santa Fe, where we found a church called Santurio de Chimyo. And this is a very small church. It's now in the National Registry, but it's a place where over 100 years ago people began to be healed. And I didn't know the history until recently, but this church is probably the most important site in America for visiting Catholics. In fact, it gets over 300,000 people a year visiting the sites because of the miraculous history it has and those people that have been touched there. Now in the video, I do a little talk, but I also have a piece where I walk around a room where there's just crutches and thousands of pictures of people who have been healed, restored in one way or another. So I thought this was very important to kind of set this up for you, to let you understand what this is and where it is and how important it is to Rivers and me, because we had this healing ministry that God has really blessed us with over the last 17 years and hopefully many years yet to come, where we've seen so many people restored in their bodies with physical healing, but most importantly, spiritual healing, being in relationship with God through Jesus Christ, crucified and risen, but also healing in relationships or strongholds on the mind or in emotional issues. God is a healer to make us whole. Jesus endured those stripes for our healing, that we may be whole. In fact, the word salvation means wholeness. So it's not just physical healing, but it's spiritual healing, relational, psychological, and emotional healing. So I hope this little video will help you, touch you, inspire you, because this has such a rich history, and it's such a privilege to be able to share it with you now. So I'm coming to you from a church in outside of Santa Fe, Chimyo, which has a almost 250-year history of healing. Inside are many crutches. People come from all over the world to this small church to be prayed over for healing. And so we decided on our way back to Dallas to make a pass through Santa Fe area with a special intent of stopping at this church. And you all know that Rivers and I have been blessed with a healing teaching and preaching ministry over the years. And when we were told about this church by our daughter Jordan, we thought that it was in our interest to pass by and to pray over the church and what God's been doing here through these many centuries, but also to remind you that healing is not just for a region, but it's an international gift that God has given the church. And furthermore, the healing ministry of Jesus Christ continues today. So I'm privileged to be here on this site where God has restored and healed so many people over the centuries. It's a blessing to Rivers and I and our son Paul as we're passing through this area. But I just want to remind you, that the God of the Old Testament, the God of the New Testament is the same today, because he doesn't change. As it says in Malachi 3, God does not change. So the preaching, teaching, and healing ministry of Jesus Christ is alive and well in the world, but especially right here in this little enclave, this little tiny village in Santa Fe, Chimyo. So if you want to look it up, see the history here, go to Wikipedia. But I want to just pray right now for all the people here. Lord, let everyone that comes in here feel the touch and the love and the healing power of Jesus Christ, that he would ensured all of us when he took those stripes, as it says in the Bible, and bore them for our healing and died on the cross to redeem us from our sin. That's the beauty of the gospel, that Jesus rose from the dead to give us the gift of everlasting life in spite of the redemption and the healing that we receive here in this world. If you want to reach out to me, hit the comment button right now on Facebook, or go to my website, paulteskeministries.com, hit me a prayer request, or go to my YouTube page where I continue to build a library for you. It's Paul Teske Ministries YouTube page at Paul Teske Ministries. All right, so go in peace and serve the Lord. And all God's people said, amen.